Hello there. Today we're doing another video talking about what to buy and sell. And we're going to focus on the cards here. I specifically wanted to talk about grading for showcases. Up to this point, we really have only seen graded versions of the Luke and Vader promos hitting online. But right now on eBay, there's a graded Boba Fett showcase that's a 10, and with a day and a half left, it's a $1,800. So Boba's trading right now ungraded for about 800. So that's pretty impressive. If you can more than double the price with a 10 rating, it does seem like there's a decent amount of collectors getting into Star Wars Unlimited. So it may be something to think about. If you've pulled some of the really high-end stuff, you could get quite a return on some of the showcases or hyperspace foils. Next up is actually this little initiative token. I got this for free for going to a pre-release event, and for some reason, these are selling for about $40 online right now. I guess folks are really desperate for acrylic tokens since all the regular Gamegenic tokens sold out. So that's one I'm probably going to unload because I don't think I've ever used this. If we look at regular cards, Vader has gone up just a tiny bit in value. He's about 83. Boba and Luke are both up about $10 in the last week. So Boba is sitting at right at 60 and Luke right at 40. And I would guess, at least for these two, that these are towards the top of where they're going to end up. There's still some supply issues where it seems like Fantasy Flight has more product, but they haven't really released much of it yet. So most of what I'm hearing is that there's still difficulty acquiring boxes. You can find some, but you have to kind of work for it. So I expect these to remain pretty steady right now. Luke is one that I expect to continue to rise a little bit. In my mind, just like Vader is a staple in pretty much anything green villain, Luke is probably a staple in pretty much anything heroism blue. And so, as more and more decks come out, as Chirrut and Luke Leader get more popular, um, and with some of the spoilers from the new set. Today we got our first round of spoilers, and the designers even talked about that there's some cards that are really going to help the Luke deck out. So I think Luke might get a little closer to where Boba is. It seems like there's a lot of folks shifting to villain control as well. So Avenger is now up to about 25. Super Blazer Blast is up just a little bit. It's at about 17. And uh, I think that those will be fairly stable. It seems like the blue-green villain shell is kind of being discovered, and I think that's part of why these three have become so expensive. But that'll continue to happen with other shells. Cunning is one that I'm pretty happy to see has risen to about $17. So all the double aspect legendaries were in the $8 to $10 range, and I think folks have finally figured out that this is good. Even in set one, it's still in my mind only going to get better as more sets come out. So I think that's kind of a precursor of these two. In my last video recommending what to buy, I talked about these two. I'm going to do it one more time. So Vigilance and Command are both still sitting at $10. Uh, that's where Cunning was last time. Cunning is spiked to 17, and I think both of these will do the same thing. I already think that there's great decks that you can build with Chirrut or Iden on the Vigilance side. I think Command can go into a few as well, whether it be Tarkin or Palpatine. And so I think that those are really good options to consider picking up right now. If we look at the rares, K2 and Red 3 have stabilized a little bit at about $9. That's down a little bit from where they were. And I think it's because people are realizing that you can beat Sabine and Leia decks. So they're still great cards, but coming down a little bit. And U-Wing Reinforcements has actually risen to $9. Uh, I think maybe, if you're playing these two in every red Heroism deck, you're definitely playing U-Wing Reinforcements in every green Heroism deck. So that one seems to make sense to me. After those two, from a rares perspective, Seventh Sister and Fire Spray are both sitting at about $6. Fire Spray makes sense, right? Because Boba's super popular. But it seems like the Grand Inquisitor deck is picking up a lot of steam, which is part of what's driving the price of Seventh Sister. So that one might be one to keep an eye on, where maybe, Force Lightning will also go up in price a little bit if that deck keeps doing well. Uh, the next list here I want to talk about Emperor's Royal Guards and then a bunch of blue stuff. All of these cards are between $1 and $1.50. They're some of the cheapest rares to find right now. And I basically have all four of these on my buy list. I think the Emperor is getting better and better. People are starting to solve him. And so Emperor's Royal Guard is great for that, but it doesn't just live in an Emperor deck. There are other decks like Tarkin that make a lot of sense for him. It Binds All Things is going to get more popular with both Chirrut and Grand Inquisitor. And so that's one to keep an eye on. And, with the spoilers coming out for set 2, like Grogu, this one, as well as Jedi Lightsaber, I think are potentially going to go up. So Jedi Lightsaber and Redemption are part of that, blue heroism deck that I think is going to get even stronger with Grogu. I already think it's pretty strong. And so you may want these in a Luke deck, in a Grogu deck, in a Chirrut deck, in a Mandalorian deck. And so it might be one that you want more than 3 copies of, a Jedi Lightsaber. And then the last ones I want to talk about today are the double aspect rares. And all of these are sitting at about 50 cents online. And I think some of them are justified. I don't see a major use for Saw Gerrera, maybe sometime. General Krell can be fun in a Palpatine deck, but I think if you play him, people are just going to kill him. But these two, Bendy and Bodhi, I think are already quite decent, even in set 1. Again, in the Boba Cunning deck, and then in either Chirrut or Iden. And so for 50 cents a piece, I would pick those up, kind of like the double aspect legendaries. I think that these will get better and better. So I hope that's helpful. It gives you a few things to think about picking up or maybe getting rid of if you were sitting on, a whole bunch of U-Wing reinforcements. Now might be the time to start cashing in on that value. And I'd be curious to know if you're going to get some showcases graded. This one, I've already agreed to a deal where I'm going to be selling this one, so I'm not going to get it graded. But I think that there is some potential there for sure.